Okay, in this part of the lesson, we're going to be working on identifying or naming adjacent and vertical angles off of a set of more than two intersecting lines. So I like to trace over these. It makes it much more visual for me. So I'm going to go ahead and find my adjacent angles. So remember, adjacent angles are going to be two angles that share a common side. So I'm going to trace this because it has a ray that comes through it and splits it into two. So here's the side that they share. Okay, so the way that we name angles in this type of setup. Notice in our previous video, we could say angles 1 and 3 or 2 and 4 or whatever. Here we have to use the letters. So it is a 3-letter combination, okay? You have to do them in order. So I'm gonna trace over it as I say the angle measure. So I am going and following my red line, A to B to F. There's my angle. Angle A, B, F. That could also be written out as FBA, but B has to be in the middle. Okay, so now I'm going to trace the other one. E to B to F. E, B, F. Angle E, B, F would be another example. Or you could say FBE. They can be reversed, but B has to be in the middle. So there's a pair of adjacent angles. They share this common side right here. Okay, so let's try a pair of vertical angles. So when I'm identifying vertical, I like to go ahead and draw all the way through the figure. So I want to find two where the rays go all the way through. So this one would not work very well because it stops at B. I want two that go all the way through B and extend the other through the other side. So here's one, and here's one. See how it extends all the way through the figure? So now I'm going to identify, there's two sets of vertical angles right there that you can see. So I'm just going to identify one of them. So I'll do this angle and this angle. Okay, the other set's this one right here, this angle and this angle. But I'm going to do these here. So I'm going to trace them as I say them. A, B, F. A, B, F. Take note, B is in the middle of all of these. My other set was this one right here. D, B, C. D, B, C. Do you notice how B is in the middle of every single one of these? That's because it's the center point. Okay, so let's go ahead and try another set. We'll change out the picture and identify and work on writing those angles. Okay, so here's another one. Name a pair of adjacent angles. So I'm going to pick a set of angles where I've got a ray that's extending through the middle of them. Doesn't matter what set I pick. I'm going to pick this. I stop at the middle point and then go to another array. So here's the ray that's the shared side. Okay, so I'm going to trace it and I'm going to say as I trace it, and I always go to the center from one of the letters. Q, J, K. Q, J, K. That's my angle symbol. So then the other set of that is this one, L, J, K. L, J, K. Angle. Okay, instead of vertical angles. So I'm going to erase this. So vertical angles have to extend all the way through because I have to create those V's on opposite sides. There's lots of vertical angles in this one. I'm just going to pick two lines that intersect all the way, or that go all the way through. So I'm going to do this one and this one. There are many other ones. Those aren't the only ones. And I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to mark which angles I'm going to read. I'm going to do that one and this one. Okay, so I'm going to trace it. P to J to Q. P, J, Q. M, J, L. M, J, L. There's my angles that are vertical to each other. Okay. That is working with adjacent and vertical angles. So adjacent angles are going to be two angles that share a common side. So you need to have at least 3 lines that are intersecting at that midpoint, and then, or 3 rays, sorry. And then for vertical angles, you need to extend all the way through, and you're going to write those 2 letters that are, or those 2 angles that are opposite the V from each other. Okay, making sure that when you're doing your angle measures, you're using that 3-letter sequence.